Okie dokie. Good morning, Neil here with the Off the Lip radio show on my series Who's Who in Santa Cruz. And this morning, I am here at the Loft Coffee Shop at Twin Lakes Church with City of Capitola Mayor Yvette Brooks. Question number one, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'll ask everybody this question, and here we go. Please tell me your favorite Marianne's ice cream flavor.
My favorite Marianne's ice cream flavor is...
Here it is, folks.
Mexican chocolate.
Oh, dude, that's a killer.
And then you can split it with horchata, and it is so good.
Split it with what?
Horchata ice cream.
What's that?
It's another flavor of ice cream.
Is it?
Yeah, and they'll split the scoop for you. So you
That's really good?
It's my favorite. Yeah. That was not staged, y'all. That's real
Next time I interview, we're gonna have you come on the Off the Radio show. We're gonna get that for you.
Yay! I love it.
Okay. So you became mayor again. When? Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you got in store? You got like a laundry list of the things you have a shopping list and a mayor list. You have a shopping list and a mayor list?
You know, I've been lucky enough to serve for 6 years, so I really haven't had a break in serving the community. So the list is it's the same. It's supporting the community, keeping everyone safe, ensuring that our employees and our police department are taken care of. And so, yeah, I mean, I just have the honor to rotate into the seat as mayor, but really, there's been no
day off.
No day off. For the last
we talked before the show here, but it was a kind of a thankless job because the pay is like beyond minimal, and you get, and no one says anything. We talked about people like to complain, but there are people that are not, that don't like it. Will call you up and say, "Hey, you're doing a good job," or is it mostly more negative?
You know, my favorite day is when it's quiet, because that means everyone's happy. No news is good news. It means everyone's happy. You know, the only time, and it makes sense, the only time that anyone wants to reach out is if they need something or need support or help. And so, if it matters to them, then it matters to us.
Can you share what the duties are for a mayor?
Yeah, so the difference between being on council versus being the mayor is I get to work with our staff on setting the agenda. So we have our normal stuff like our budget timelines and our street management. We have the whole year planned out, but my job is to sit down and set the agenda and then run the meetings. And kind of lead the conversation to where we need it to go.
What's the hardest thing on your plate that you have right now? What's the toughest you're going to be facing that's coming up this year?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm really happy to announce that we've passed Measure Y, which is the increase to our sales tax, because that really was important to us because it helps our employees and our police department in terms of their salaries. So they're able to. Was there a pay raise? It was. It's never enough. But also with that passing, it helps close the gap in our budget. So.
Is Measure Y, is it something negotiated with somebody, or do you just pick a number out of the sky, like we're going to now pay you X?
For the salaries? The salaries goes through a whole negotiation process. The unions meet with our teams and they negotiate what works best for them. And then always you find the middle ground because everyone deserves $2 million salaries, but we have only a certain amount of money in the coffers. But what's really important about Measure Y also is that it's not going to be extra money. Really what it helps us do is just maintain our budget and pay the bills as they increase from year to year to year. So I'm just happy the community saw that and voted yes for it.
Capitola, like Santa Cruz, putting in low-income housing.
So
buildings like those. Are they?
Yeah, we're required to approve our housing element. Every city in California is required to pass that and to approve. And really, what that means is to identify zones for housing. So, for example, we have some businesses that were just zoned to be a business, and so what we did is we rezoned it that it could be businesses and housing. And so if a developer was interested in looking at a project like that, they wouldn't have to to jump through any hoops.
Yeah.
So in terms of affordable housing, we have passed 2 affordable housing projects with our last council, which we're really proud of. Mid-County Penn is a wonderful nonprofit that took a lot of time to think about they wanted it to look like.
Mid-County Penn?
Mid-County Penn. It's a nonprofit that works with affordable housing.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, affordable is not like.
Well, I don't know. I've said it before. All my shows, I've talked about it. Well, I don't know anybody who has got the screaming deal on an affordable. I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, but
yeah, it'll be. Mid-County Penn's going to come back to us and let us know. What they also like to do is look at the needs in the community. So for us, we have a aging population of seniors. And so really those are the community members who are going to benefit from those low-income housing units. So they focus on that, and we'll be hearing more from them.
Okay. Can we talk about the 2 bridges? Can we talk about the Trestle and Stockton Bridge?
Yeah.
Are they both obviously need? I know the Trestle Bridge needs repair. Mm-hmm. And how about does the Stockton Bridge?
Yeah, so it's been interesting because there's been some misinformation circulating in the community. Yeah, so
can you straighten that out?
Yeah, let me straighten it out.
Straighten it out.
So Stockton Bridge has been severely damaged through the previous storms, and so right now it's fine. It was one of the questions I asked on the dais, like, do we have a problem here? Like, is it gonna? Can we have folks go over it?
It's a main thoroughfare right now.
Right, and so we also know that when we have our big storms, which are inevitable now, and we have these huge logs, and so they're trying to be really proactive, ensuring that huge logs don't come down when we have the storms down the river and block the bridge or damage the bridge, because that's what happened before. So we're looking at different ways to kind of allow more stuff to flow through and to make it seismically safe.
Right.
So we talked about some different ideas where we spent a little money in terms of looking at the best options. Of course, there's no way we're going to close that bridge down without really thinking about a plan. We have other bridges and on-ramps that are closed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a far way out, and we're not going to utilize all of our city funds for that because it's an expensive project. So we're looking for grant opportunities to help us.
And Capitola, I mean, it's I won't say the rail trail fight, but the rail trail issue. You're part of it.
Yeah,
so it's your part of it because the rail runs right through Capitola.
Yeah.
So
and that's what we're kind of on pause for. So you know that the RTC owns the trestle.
Yeah.
The trail itself is gonna start on one side, or one side of Capitola. The middle part of the village we're not anticipating any trail going through that at this time.
Right.
Because the RTC, when they presented it, said, we can't really figure that out. It's really busy. City of Capitola, you figure it out and see it. But really, we can do some adjustments for a bike trail through the village, but it can't be like the trail you see in like Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And then it'll open back up on Park Avenue. So we'll see that coming to us again for Park Avenue. We already approved the design previously with RTC.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, RTC is trying to figure out the feasibility on a train going over that trestle.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that could take a decade or two,
And let me ask you this. Can we talk about global warming, that type of thing? So people get out of bed, or I'll talk to politicians. Yeah, I need to fix global. You can't fix global. Mother Nature's going to do Mother Nature's thing, which is what happened with the wolf before.
Yeah.
And the Capitola it's a problem. It's a big problem. How are you dealing with? How as a mayor can you be dealing with that?
Yeah. So. I love that question. It's really important.
It's not preventative because Mother Nature's going to do a thing.
But we can be proactive, right? We can think about what we've seen, learn from it, and then be prepared for it again. And so right now I'm working with our new Chief of Police, Sarah Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Sarah.
What we learned from the last storms, we had to bring in a crane on that bridge.
Yeah.
We had to get people out down in the Esplanade and clear them out, and we were dealing with flooding, and it was hard to communicate with business. So all of those things we learned. We're working on a plan. We're working with OES. We always work with OES on the safety plan, but really what's the checkoff list that we need?
Yeah.
So when we know a storm's coming,
yeah,
what are we going to do? And Chief Ryan and I and the rest of council are working on like, okay, businesses, this is how we're going to respond to you.
Right.
This is what we need to do at the city. It's kind of like a trigger. If the waves get this big, check, we're going to do these things. And so then it doesn't confuse the community either.
Okay.
And they know, all right, when it gets to this level, it's time to go. Or businesses,
right.
you need to close if the waves get this big.
Right.
So there's that. And then in terms of like the other things, like the climate, you know, I've had the privilege of serving on the Central Coast Community Energy, and you know, little things like bringing in a green street sweeper to Capitola,
right.
Looking at making more bike parking spots,
yeah.
allowing there to be an accept where you don't have to pay a dime to install an EV charger in your home. So all those little things
yeah.
that just helps
add up.
It does add
yeah.
up, and those are the things we can do in terms of response to that. So there's really high level stuff, and then those little things.
Can we talk about the wharf?
Yeah.
What's the future of the wharf? And example, let me ask you a question.
Please.
A personal question. Would you build and run a business at the end of the wharf?
Would I build
knowing that
is going to get hammered by the waves?
Schmammered.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, you know, I'm not a business owner.
Right.
So I don't know why would, you know, the whys, but I think that there's an interest, right? There's always a interest of people wanting to have an experience when visiting Capitola.
Right.
We're a tourist town. You know, I think there's different types, instead of doing a brick and mortar, like a business that's there made out of wood, we can look at different options like shipping containers, and we could have that flexibility. Is that the answer? I don't know, and it's not going to really be. It is at the end of the day up for council, but it's going to go out to the community to let us know.
Okay,
and
so the county gets the community gets to choose what's out there.
So we're surveying.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're surveying, right. And what I've heard so far from my like anecdotal, like, hey, what do y'all think? You know, they loved the food trucks. They loved the those shipping container ideas,
yeah.
having some sort of circulation. So if a shipping container gets hammered, you know, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
There's a weight restriction, though,
yeah.
on what weight we can have out there. We also want to think about our businesses in Capitola Village.
Yeah.
We don't want to take away too much from them.
No, of course not.
So
no.
It's a good balance. It's an interesting balance.
Right. Well, good.
Yeah.
You got some stuff on your plate.
Yeah, every day. Every day.
Right.
But it's worth it. And you know, I think again about the safety. Capitola is just really, we're such a small community, and just we're seeing a whole bunch of e-bikes on the streets,
yeah.
and we're entering the winter storms.
The e-bike thing's going to be an issue with the kids riding, you know.
Everywhere. The
right?
states, I mean, definitely looking at those, but our police officers are going to the schools, they're meeting with parents,
yeah,
we're
good.
doing all the outreach we can. We're looking at safer bike lanes and for our youth, you
yeah.
know. We're working on the Bay Avenue corridor, so how are we going to make the flow easier
yeah.
through that because there's 3 schools on Bay to SoCal.
Right.
And so how are we going to make that safe for just not the cars
yeah.
but
bikes.
our bikes. So
yeah.
lots of good stuff coming up. I look forward to it and working on all of these projects more.
What are you thankful for this Christmas?
Oh, my family.
Yeah?
Everyone showed up yesterday.
Oh, they did? How many showed up? How many?
Well, my crew,
yeah.
you know, my crew. But the sweetest thing was my parents were there, my husband, my daughter, and
yeah.
then all her friends.
Yeah.
All these little girls showing up, and they were in the audience, and it was just so sweet.
Oh, yesterday's ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the sweetest
Someone
thing.
filmed that, I hope?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It was the sweetest. So that's what I'm grateful for,
good.
our health and this
yeah.
community, and
yeah.
we're really lucky.
I think Capitola's lucky to have you, because you sound like you know exactly what you're very clear about what you want to do. You're very clear about the future of it, and I think it's in good hands.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.